Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters, and welcome back. I appreciate you tuning in. And today I want to do another book review. And this book review is is by it's called The Hebrew Gospel of Matthew by George Howard. And George Howard was a professor of religion in Georgia, and he did an extensive work on the Shem Tob manuscript that was discovered decades and decades back. He What he did was he found a Hebrew gospel that was copied from another Hebrew gospel, and he's got it all right in here. He's got the regular Hebrew letters, and he also has, the translation into English. And there are some differences between the Hebrew version and the Greek version, but it's believed that Matthew was originally in Hebrew because they were Hebrews, and at the beginning they had a Hebrew audience, but in time the Greeks, and then the Romans, they took over and everything, and Shem Tob, he was living in Spain at the time, and he was a devout Jew. And what happened was the Catholics, priests and them would come around and try to challenge these Jews about, you gotta, have a little debate about Yeshua being the Messiah or not. So Shem Tob got a hold of a copy of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, and he used that. He looked at it, studied it, and that's what he used to fight back in the debates against this priest. And after he won, he had to leave because he would have been put to death for what he did. So he won it, but they found it, and they found this manuscript in Spain, and he paved the way to translate it and bring attention to it. But then later on, other scholars come along, caught wind of it, and they started studying it too, and they took it serious. Took it serious, and they studied it, and sure, Mr. Howard here, he's got a couple things probably wrong with it, most likely, translation problems, but the other ones, they discovered a copy of this book in the Hebrew University. It was Nehemiah Gordon who discovered it, and it piqued his interest and everything. And then they got other scholars that, was interested in the Shem Tob manuscript, and they've written on it. They studied it, intensively. And, it's a big thing, a lot of people think it was, Matthew, and the whole New Testament was written in Greek. And not at the beginning. At the beginning, it wasn't in Greek. But then some people also say it's Aramaic that was written in, and that's up to debate. But no, Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, and not only that, there's other manuscripts that are in Hebrew that are being found elsewhere, like clear in India. You got Spain, you got other places. The Vatican has some in their vaults, their archives. They got some in there. It's been found recently, and this Mr. Howard, he did a fine job of this, the best he could with what he had, what tools he had, and everything. He brought it to life, and other people are taking it seriously. Scholars and theologians, they're taking it seriously, and you can't, there's signs in there that it's, there's Hebrew puns in there for one thing. Even if you translate in another language, the puns remain, and it's a wordplay that Hebrews were notorious for doing. So, anyways, I encourage you to get this book, check it out, check the book out. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on other bookstores elsewhere. There's a lot of places you can find it. You can find a good used book. It's not expensive being used. It was published in 1995, and it's a good book, and it's something to really study, look at. But this is the beginning of the proof that at least Matthew was written first in Hebrew. And you got like the other scholars are confirming it and they're studying it, and they're finding other manuscripts all over the place. But I encourage you to get the book. And I thank you again for stopping by for another, book review. And please, check out my other videos. And I got other books on there I do reviews about. Check them out too. And please hit the notification bell for future whatever, hit the note, and do the subscribe to me and hit that like button. I really like it when people like me, of course, but anyways, with that said and done, I thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you again later. So peace out and shalom.